All right. Today I'm going to try to work out over lunchtime. Just do a quick chest session, trying to move things along as fast as I can. And yeah, I think this is the first day I've recorded a chest day in a while. I don't know if you can see in the mirror, but got a new tripod. So I was able to get the ladder that I was using before out of here and save a little bit of space. Got a decent amount of equipment in here now. The rep leg extension leg curl, the Roman chair, which I bought just after the leg extension leg curl. It's pretty bulky and can get in the way, but honestly it's not too bad. And then of course rack, bench, functional trainer, and then I have the bench that's holding up the two fans. So eventually I want to get a window AC unit in here or some sort of temperature control, and that way I can kind of get rid of the fans and move the bench into the corner so it's not taking up so much space. And then hopefully I'll have even more room. I need to get more floor mats to finish putting down closer to the door. Other than that, don't really have much else to say. Forgot to charge the speaker, so I have it plugged in directly, which is annoying, but what can you do? I also got some new cleaning supplies for the shed, for the gym anyway. Wipex is the brand. It's just these, they're called fitness wipes. I got the lavender scent. They just come in a bucket, and they're exactly like the wipes that you use at the gym. So they smell nice and help me clean up from time to time. But enough talking, let's go ahead and get started.
All right, starting off this chest day with what everybody should be doing, and that is warming up. If you don't warm up, I think you're just asking for pec tear, blown out your shoulder, any sort of that nonsense, and we don't want that. If you're not warming up, I want you to stay away from me. But for push days, I like to do some flies, tricep extensions, and then I'll move into some more shoulder-focused warm-up with some lateral raises, front raises, and rear delt raises. And then once I've done that, I feel pretty comfortable moving on to the bench press. I actually got these shoulder exercises from a physical therapist YouTube channel. I subluxed my shoulder when I was younger, and I had to use these to build strength back up and get back to normal. And now I use them to warm up, and it seems to work pretty well for me, which I like. All right, moving on to bench press. I start with sort of a continued warm-up, just do the bar, 95 pounds, 135, and then if the jump is too big, I will warm up with another set. If it's not, I will just go on into the working weight. Today, that is 165 pounds for 2 sets of 10. I feel like the first set went okay, felt pretty good. The second set, as you'll see, I struggled a little bit. I think I just didn't rest long enough, that coupled with just not being very strong, which is really sad. I feel like it takes doing sets like this, sets of 10, 12, on compound movements to really appreciate how many reps that truly is. Especially on squat. I feel like anything over 6 on squat is just torture. I just can't stand it. Plus, my squat is not very good, so it's not as fun. I like to keep the weight as high as I can, so if I'm doing 3 or 4, I can do a lot more weight, obviously. And it makes me feel good about myself. Anyways, here is that set. Starting off pretty strong and then struggling more towards the end. But I did get every single rep done, which is the important part. Nobody cares how hard it was. They only care if you did it. Anyways, after I finish up benching, I move on to some Arnold press, which is shockingly similar to seated military press. I'm actually not sure the difference. I think I just do it to keep it fresh and switch it up. It is a bit strange though. If I'm making my own workouts or writing my own program, I don't think I'd ever put these in it. They tend to slip my mind. The stepchild of shoulder workouts, which is kind of in contradiction to its name. You think something Arnold would be the most popular. And maybe it is, and maybe I'm just a weird guy working out in his shed. Either way, here I am doing them. So I only had 2 sets of this. I think everything in this workout is 2 sets, each exercise that is, which I like. I find it kind of boring to do the same thing just over and over again. I like to keep it fresh, switch it up. But I do think that if something feels really good, I tend to want to keep doing it. So it can be bittersweet at times. Either way, once I finish up here, I am moving on to what is supposed to be closed grip Smith machine press. But a couple problems with that. I don't have a Smith machine in here, which I think you could obviously tell. The other is I hate the Smith machine. I just don't think I've ever done an exercise on it that I've liked. So in place of that, I just do some closed grip dumbbell press. I think that's what it's called. And surprisingly, I actually really enjoy it. There's a little bit of a danger feeling, I would say. Uh, I am putting pressure to keep the dumbbells together, and these dumbbells don't like stick together the best, and so it feels like they're gonna slip off of each other and kill me. Other than the fear, or the other than the imminent fear of dying, I actually do really like these. I feel like I can get a really good squeeze in my chest at the top, and I can put a decent amount of weight on, which is always fun. One thing I realized during this workout is that I really appreciate having an actual tripod. Before, I was just using a ladder, like a little step ladder, and then I had this smaller tripod which had like bendable legs. I would just set that on top of it. And then carry that around the gym, which wasn't super easy or fun, and it took a lot of time and space. So definitely appreciate having an actual tripod to move around, get angles, all that good stuff. I have been trying to think of ways to save space in the gym. Not that it's crowded or anything, but if I get a couple more pieces of equipment, it could quickly get that way. The first thing on the list is this super awesome AC setup. I'd like to get an actual AC like I mentioned before, but um, for now it's just a bench in the middle of the shed with 2 fans on it. I run an extension cord all the way to my house to turn them on. After the closed grip dumbbell bench press, I move on to some low to high cable fly. Probably my least favorite out of the cable fly variations, but program calls for it, so I do it. 2 sets of 15 to 20, I believe. One thing I noticed during this session was that I could go a little bit heavier than I had been able to previously, so that was encouraging. What is not encouraging is the feeling at the end of these sets. I try to keep it as clean as possible during the first 10, 12 reps or so, but by the end, I'll just crank him out if I feel like I can't do it with perfect form, just to get a couple more reps. The other thing I'd like to do with the gym is start to get more mirrors. I don't really want to hang them because it sounds like kind of a pain, but as you see, they're just kind of set on the ground, laying up against the wall. And that also reminds me, I need to start putting up some shelves. I think storing a bunch of shit in a pile in the corner is not an optimal way of organizing your workspace. And although I don't have a lot of stuff in here that I would need to find, if I ever want to find something and can't, I know it'll be upsetting. So I'm going to try to avoid that and look into getting some hooks, shelves, anything that could help with storage. After the low to high cable fly, I am supposed to do, I think it's like floor, barbell, skull crusher. Not exactly sure what that means. I just elect to do this version. Still barbell, still a skull crusher, just not on the floor. This is another exercise I've been kind of historically weak at. Puts a lot of stress on my elbows, which I'm not a fan of. But it has been feeling good lately. This exercise has the lowest rep range of the day, 8 to 10. So I try to put as much weight as I can on, just a little bit more than I think I can do. If it ends up being too heavy, I can always just drop the weight and redo a set. I'm pretty grateful for having a home gym. I definitely am more excited day to day to come in and work out as opposed to knowing I have to come all the way home and then go to another spot to work out. It's super nice just walking outside and being able to start my workout. Plus, I can play whatever music I want and wear whatever I want. I don't think the YMCA would look very kindly on me taking my shirt off in the middle of the gym. Which maybe you all aren't taking very kindly to me taking my shirt off. I don't really know. But you weren't there to tell me not to do it. So, whose fault is it really? Now I'm doing some Egyptian lateral raises. I think 2 sets of 20. Each arm, obviously. I always do some form of lateral raise, whether it be with a cable or the dumbbells. I think the idea of the Egyptian lateral raise and like a seated dumbbell lateral raise is to take as much momentum out of the movement as possible. But I still tend to use some, like I mentioned before, at the end of the set if I feel like I have some gas in the tank, but don't really think I can get a perfect textbook rep. I'll just do the last few reps with momentum so I can finish the set. Going back to the being thankful for our home gym, I do want to start getting some friends over to work out. I think we've had up to 3 in the gym at a time, and then talking about room as well. I think we had a decent amount of space even with that many people in here. So that's exciting, and something I really want to start doing is getting people over, hang out, have fun. So that's in my plans for the future, hopefully. I did do 2 sets of lateral raises, but I only recorded one. If you've seen one lateral raise, you've seen them all. Next, I did some overhead tricep extensions, and I actually really like this exercise. I can feel a really good stretch whenever my hands are behind my head, and I feel like that helps me lock in and get a good squeeze on the other end of the rep as well. Once again, only 2 sets here. This time I actually did forget to record my first set, so you only get 1 here. This is the last exercise, or last actual exercise of the push day. So I at this point I'm pretty exhausted. It gets fairly hot in the gym, and the fans only do so much. It's just blowing that whatever's outside into here. So it's more so air movement than actual cool air. But the actual last exercise is some hanging leg raises. I try to do abs every other day that I work out. Eventually I'd like to do it every day, but I just get too sore. So for the time being, it's every other day. With this being the last exercise, I hope you have enjoyed this little voiceover. I find it difficult to talk for 10 to 15 minutes straight, so this was definitely a challenge and took quite a few repetitions to get something that I felt was right. But yeah, just again want to thank you guys for watching.
Okay, I completed the workout, ate lunch, and then finished up work for the day, and now I'm gonna go pick up a Target order as an excuse to drive the truck. I try to start this every other week or so just to keep the juices flowing, so to speak. But let's go.